Implementation 2. For example, when I work out in the gym, I try to keep my attention in the center of consciousness, but when my colleagues, they start talking to the audience, I can't concentrate.
So same.
With the plate, it turns out to feel it well only when around silence. Please tell me how you can focus so that everyone wasn't it around. Before training or competition, set reality in a quiet place that everything turns out brilliantly for you. While you go to the film, where you really do everything brilliantly by the script.
In
other words, if you systematically ask your genius, then you can safely rely on the script, which itself will lead you, and awareness is not necessary to maintain. Work with the plate in a relaxed atmosphere.
And with
experience, you can already work in any conditions. Tell me, please, is it possible to begin acquaintance with your books not from the first steps, but, for example, from the book Tufti? And also, I have a problem with the expression of my thoughts. I want to say imagine, but I can't find the words. Sometimes it even takes a few minutes. It's hard to remember the names of people or the name of the organization about which I want to tell. My memory often fails me. You can start with Tufti if you carefully read it. If the problem is with expression of thought forms, take special time first so that they to formulate.
It's
better to do it on paper and then work with them along with the
plate.
In the little things, I've already mastered everything. It turns
out.
But the implementation of serious goals raises one question, which I stumble on. For example, I want move to your own home. And not just a house, but something like a generic estates, where my parents and my adult children will live. Which in this case there should be a frame, or a series of frames.
Can I
imagine us all together joyful and happy, for example, on the lawn, near the house with our dogs? Would this be an impact on them? By the way, without my relatives, I don't need this house at
all.
And further, the dream of family, the estate is our common dream, and we want to realize it together. Is it possible, in this case, collectively highlight approximately the same frame?
Will
this enhance effect? Long-term and elusive goals require more time, systematic training with the plate, as well as open eyes and ears so that do not miss the opportunity. Joint efforts to the realization of this goal, of course, will give a double and a triple effect. But with all this, must be sure that you get along all together in one house. It rarely happens that a large family of several generations got along without problems and conflicts. Question: if, after the emerging miraculous superpositive movement towards positive change, a global glitch suddenly started, plans, constant delays, what to do, and what does it mean? The apparent failure of plans is the failure of your plans.
But
where are you from? Know what plan you need to reach your goal? Your job is to ask reality, not analyze the scenario. Look for good in everything. After the release of the book, a huge number of people learned about techniques. Tufti began to apply them in his life.
It
will somehow affect life in whole? Will it be more difficult to personally change your script? Or it can to do only those who have a pretty braid? Many people have learned, but really it uses just a little. Men in mostly infantile and also in the grip of a system that blocks their energy. Read more about this in the book, Hacking Technogenic Systems. Do not worry, there is no competition here. We'll use Tufti techniques, get a huge advantage over other members of society. I ask you to clarify the topic of process visualization. In Tufti techniques, process visualization is not mentioned. The whole emphasis on working with the ultimate aim, slide, using the plate. In Transurfing, you made it clear that process visualization is nothing more than the main workhorse of the whole
technique.
Tufti does not have this at all. Question: when working with a plate on Tufti's method should not be used to visualize the process? Use Tufti techniques first, they're more effective. Highlighting the frame or even a slide if you have enough focus by an algorithm with the plate is more powerful than just scrolling a slide. Fixation, a shift in thought markers, again with the plate, more powerful than just statement of events. The most convincing for the mind is that finds confirmation in reality. And the plate serves, firstly, as a powerful amplifier of intent, and secondly, as a kind of interface to outward intention. I started practicing intention with the plate in the bathroom, with activation on the exhale, since I take a bath almost every day. And it is in it I remember about the technique every time. I really wanted to be able to do everything brilliantly. And I run. In intention, I imagine how I manage to organize my business, how I build the system correctly, how brilliantly I solve all problems. Although there is no real experience in this area, neither in business nor in building communications, I ask myself as a charming person, imagine how I continue to work with my client after expiration of agreements. The plate more I imagine how I feel, and I catch a fuzzy sensation between the shoulder blades. And after that, the bathroom does not lie quietly. I want to move right away, practicing awakening and being at a point of awareness.
And
here is what noticed. As soon as I return to this point, I immediately become its calmer. Before the eyes, the background voltage decreases, but I mightn't even realize the tension.
while
I train this habit, I don't go further on techniques. Although maybe, perhaps it's more correct to train everything as soon as you can. Remember? The only thing for me, a powerful activator, is the upcoming meeting, and in these situations I began to ask the upcoming frame. I need the result of this particular meeting. Reality apparently began to react, but I don't understand whether my request. Over the past 2 weeks, I have constantly faced neglect of attitude to yourself. They may not answer my calls, they don't meet me come, some excuses, what they promise to do disappear silently and do not, but appearing again, do not apologize. Although they do what need in the end. I go and ask for my
own.
And even in stores where usually girls smile affably, I get arrogant lady. In my personal life, they also tell me, sit, wait, I must understand that I have things to do, that I got sick, that I have things to do again, and now the trip. And all this at the same time. Everywhere. But the climax happened in the last key meeting at which I came myself, without my senior partner, in my personal initiative. For some reason, she said that I have a big company, a business card left, although initially we planned to say that I am a girl on contracts. Plus, she misunderstood a certain hint. In general, at first I left with the feeling of how well done I am. And everything is cool, made by myself. And then I called the senior partner to tell the result meeting, and he scolded me like
that.
In general, it turned out that, on the contrary, I'm all ruined. I had to call back a person, apologize, and for now it is not known what result I achieved with all this. I went from this meeting completely broken. It took me 2 days to bed at home to somehow recover.